Well, it's soccer carpool night for me. So you are getting this video straight from my car in the parking lot on a rainy Seattle day. The question for today's video is, if marriage is about children, then why do you let infertile couples get married? And there is a pretty simple answer to this, but it's a question that we hear a lot, so I wanted to take a second to address it. First of all, how many people do you know that were told that they were infertile when they got married or soon after, who are now chasing around a household full of kids? And the answer is a lot of them. I have a lot of friends who struggled with fertility or told that they could not have kids at all, who now have a house full of kids that they made themselves. Why is that? Because heterosexual sex makes babies. And even if there's some roadblocks, life tends to find a way. Or they treated their endometriosis or got help with the low sperm count, and then the floodgates open and now they've got like 7. Next, how many couples do you know where both the husband and the wife were infertile? Not very many. So the state still has a pretty significant interest in making sure that the two people who have said, we're going to do life together forever and we're going to engage in this baby making activity, that they commit to one another forever instead of going outside the marriage union or just having sex with whoever, because you want to make sure that the permanent adult relationship is the place where the baby making activity takes place, even if one spouse is fertile, because we want that one spouse making babies, if they are to happen, with the spouse that he's committed to, not with some other woman out there who might have a baby outside of the protection of that union. And finally, this question of, well, what about, elderly couples, or when women are postmenopausal, well, maybe they shouldn't get married. Well, I just did a search on the oldest fathers and the oldest mothers in the world, and I was amazed. You've got several men in their 80s fathering children and some in their 90s. Men tend to have decreased fertility after the age of 60, but it doesn't ever really stop for men, technically, right? They can father children very, very late into their years. Women tend to have a much smaller fertility window, but you still have some women having babies in their 50s. The women that I read about who were in their 60s who had babies all had IVF treatments. But naturally, women can still get pregnant even through their 50s. So it makes sense, again, no matter how old you are, to ensure that people that are engaging in a baby-making activity are committed to one another for life, should life come from that baby-making activity, which, by some amazing miracle, it often does. So I hope that helps. Send me any other questions you might have.